So, hi everyone, I'm Ravinder. I picked this topic quite aptly, and I forgot actually zebra people are like a recruiter. So actually, it's a two-way thing, right? Because we as product managers, we need to have good recruiters and good partners to work with, both kind of from a recruitment company perspective or both from a personality perspective. I'm only going to spend 5 minutes. There's no death by PowerPoint. And I just think like sharing my kind of journey and kind of how I came about becoming a PM, like I think it would help anyone, even if you're like really mature in your product career. So without further ado, like I've been working for 20 years last year, which is like shocking. And I was like doing product management 20 years ago. I didn't know that's what it was called. So the products I was building, and I wrote a thesis, and I'm going to come back to this story at the end actually. So my thesis was a journey planner for TfL, and I worked with TfL to build that journey planner. And imagine 20 years ago, tech wasn't the same. The engineering was different. I was even trying to program in a language called C, and I was building a journey planner where you could go from here to anywhere on TfL. And then I realized that what problem am I solving? Like, so what? Like, people want to go from A to B, that's easy. But then I also realized you need to build products that are impactful and that have a real purpose. And we just spoke about monetization of money, which is impactful and important. But where my kind of thesis took a real foothold was I looked at wheelchair users. I looked at people who needed step-free access and kind of lifts and what have you. So then I ended up fine-tuning my journey planner to help those that needed kind of wheelchair access. And I want to come back to this story because recently I also helped a company do a similar thing because the problem still exists. So why am I telling you all this? So 20 years ago I did that. And I built an application, and I thought, okay, I've got to go and make money. I've got to go and find a real job and do like business analysis and write, user stories. No, it wasn't even called user stories. It was called functional specifications. Remember those things. So, and I think then that kind of got me into contracting, which I think someone asked about earlier. And what contracting taught me was how to run myself as a product. Right. I'm not egotistical, honestly. I'm only telling you this story just to share and to hopefully it'll help you as well. Right, so you're a commodity now. You're a resource in a bank. Let's just be cut to this chase. You are a bum on a seat. And for that, we are going to charge, you are able to charge £400 to £500 a day to go and do requirements, to talk to stakeholders, to deliver projects, because all good projects have a beginning and an end date, and we need that delivery. And guess what? Nothing's changed. It's still the same in banks. So I did that for 10 years, and someone else mentioned this earlier today, that to be a true, genuine product person, you need to be permanent. And you and for me, why that is because you need to be owning that product. You need to have full accountability and responsibility. And I was working with some junior PMs recently, and they said to me, oh, but the business is asking for this. And that really gets me, because as a PM, you are the business, because you have to own that product. You have to see it do well. So that's one takeaway from today. I want to give you a couple of others. So then my journey ended up in Bank of New York. I was a VP of product there. And what that meant was I was a business owner. I had my P&L. And what that P&L was to move, it was cross-border payments, which means I'm a pensioner and I live in Barbados now, and I used to be a pilot for British Airways, and I need to be paid £5,000 for my pension every month. And guess what? There are thousands of people like that that need to be paid in that currency in the local place around the world. again, why am I sharing this story with you? So in the Bank of New York, it's a 250-year-old bank. Product management, that role is around 50 years old. Can you imagine? So if anyone tells you this whole product management stuff is new, it's not. They used to do user research. They used to own that P&L, the product and service of that P&L. They used to go and see clients, get feedback, and guess what? We didn't have any nice user experiences or any kind of digital products to deal with. I was taking in payment files on Excel spreadsheets, and we were making money from that. Now kind of going around sort of full 360 to my original story. So I left the Bank of New York, did some fintech stuff. I recently joined another fintech, dealing with money, moving money around. But I also, 20 years on, a company found me and said, can you come and help us with a product called Passenger Assist? And Passenger Assist is a product that's used today by people in wheelchairs, people who are elderly that need help through airports and through many train stations at the moment. And guess what? They looked at my thesis and they said, yeah, that's what we need, a journey planner. So the takeaway there is you need to build impactful products. You need to have a unique kind of selling point for you. Now, I kind of was lucky, I was fortunate, like Paul was saying. I fell into these things because I created those opportunities, I upskilled in product management. But you need to do that yourselves. Like, no one's going to say to you, oh, go and work in a bank and earn 150 grand or 100 grand or whatever. You've got to want to do that. And some people, they think they want to do that, but they don't really want to do that. Just follow the money. Do something that you enjoy doing around product, whatever it is. And that is the main takeaway, that you need to enjoy that. And sorry, the third thing, the last thing I forgot to say, you need to work with good partners in recruitment. Right? So I have, in recruitment over the years, I have a black book of 5 recruiters who I'm friends with still. One I actually coached to become a product manager because he was like, who's so good at telling me, oh, you need to know how to use user stories, you need to go out to do user research, you need to work with designers, you need to collaborate with engineers. I was like, okay, but you know the role, so why don't you do it yourself? So he now is a senior PM as well. So I coached him and I kind of helped him get that role. And I suppose what I'm trying to say there is he's more of a generalist product manager, where you look up product manager and you kind of get those vanilla skills of all the things I've just said. But then there's a layer outside of that, which is, do you want to go into like fintech, or do you want to go into health, or do you want to go into the NHS, which has a huge digital offering? So you have to make that decision yourself, like what you really enjoy. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share. Hopefully that's useful to some of you. Let me know if you have any questions.
Great, thank you. We'll take a question if anyone has a question. Any questions?
Got a comment,
Oh yeah, okay, go on
then.
then.
As a product person, I find that it's really important to believe in the product that you're working on, because otherwise it's really difficult to actually kind of make it grow. I think I'm just saying the obvious. But I think that kind of rings true to some of the stuff you were saying, like you have to really believe in what you're working on.
Yeah, you do. You have to believe in the mission of that product. Is it helping the company, make money? Is it helping people sell houses? Is it helping people in therapy? You have to really believe in that product, like through and through. It has to be your lifeblood. Right? And I know it's hard when you work for somebody else, but you also have to believe in their mission as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.